So this is supposed to be a small short video maybe. Why do I use Linux Calculate? The thing is, I have my wife's ex laptop, a 17-inch HP Pavilion, and I used MX16. For some reason, MX16 is Debian based on Jessie, and it just doesn't switch off the backlight of the screen. Don't know why. The same happens with Linux Lite, which is based on Ubuntu 16.04. So then I used Solid XK, which is a very nice made distro based on Debian Stable or Stretch. But there my wireless mouse, after the system slept, when I wake it up, the wireless mouse doesn't work anymore. So even unplugging the dongle and putting it back in the USB port, the mouse doesn't work anymore. This is it. There's a reboot, or it just doesn't work. And the Whisker menu on XFCE has a glitch, so I can only search one time. Like here when I click on this, this is of course Calculate where everything works. So I search for something here like whatever, and in Solid XK, this then becomes, I can't type anymore. This is it. So I would have to go out, would have to go back in, same kind of thing. So that's annoying, so I don't like it. What was else? Something was wrong with it. So there was something I couldn't use. So it seems there is just not one operating system or one Linux distro you can use on all of your computers. Yes you can and no you cannot. Because, I mean, I just want everything to work. And with Calculate, Gentoo based, everything just works. And in my opinion, I used it before on a different laptop. And it's more stable to me than Arch. Arch worked for me for years okay too. I had it on my gaming laptop, gaming computer, PC. But I mean, I avoided lots of little things because I used the terminal to update Arch, so I didn't use PAMAC or PAMAC, whatever. And so that saved me from some trouble. But earlier or later, there's always something breaking for some reason. Even though I like still Arch, and I mean, I built it. First, I used Antergos, then I used Felice, and then I built it from scratch. And I mean, once I built it from scratch, I thought, you know what, why build it from scratch? So if you use one of these installers like Felice, this installer was pretty good, or is pretty good, but she's handing it over now. I don't know. She doesn't want to continue. No, she's overseeing it still, but she doesn't want to continue with Felice. So I'll show maybe another video what else I use now for Arch, because I put that on just to keep up and running with it. Here, this is my gaming laptop, and I just can't get. I made a mistake. I bought this Primus NVIDIA Intel graphic card laptop. It has two graphic cards. The main graphic card seems to be the Intel card because that's number one. That gets recognized from all distros. Not all. Fedora doesn't work. It doesn't. It just gets stuck. It just doesn't want to boot up. So, and the second is the NVIDIA GTX 1050 graphic card with 4 GB. That's not bad. It's a nice spec, but man, is this hassle. Never an Optimus. Yeah, never buy an Optimus laptop. Ever. Do not buy Optimus. It's just hassle to ask. So, sadly, the Calculate installer is giving you lots of options where you could, if I would have just an ordinary NVIDIA laptop, I could nicely do everything what I want to do on Calculate here too. But my main laptop where I do all my little things is upstairs, and that's my Pavilion 17-inch laptop. If that system falls asleep, I can wake it up with my wireless mouse, which seems to be not working anywhere. So as I said, Jesse and Ubuntu 16.04 based distros, they do not want to switch off the backlight, and I want to shut down my laptop. It should be running just like that. And what was it with Corora? Corora is a Fedora 26 distro, and it's nicely done. I liked it a lot. It's still on the laptop too, but it has some flaws too. I think it has the same issue with my wireless mouse for some reason. Don't know. I will have to look that up exactly what does what, but most of the time there is something just not working, and Calculate just works, and I'm pretty happy with it. I was always happy with it, so I'm glad I came back to it. You see, this is I don't think it will be showing anything here. That shows something. So it's my Intel i7 CPU, 16 GB RAM, Calculate Linux Desktop 17.6 XFCE. Why I use XFCE? When 5 point something KDE came out, oh man, that was so great. But then they kept developing so fast that how can I say this? It was stable for some time. It was a pleasure to use, and then the updates started breaking things that so reminded me on Arch. It just kept breaking stuff. And all the goodies, I can't use a system which breaks down, which all of a sudden that doesn't work anymore, this doesn't work anymore. It's rolling a dice, after an update, what keeps working. So as much as I like KDE, XFCE, if you want a computer, just work with it, XFCE. No crash, nothing ever gets screwed up. It just works, and it's reliable, it's customizable. You can do what you want at any time with it, for example. So it's just great. And by the way, I'm still impressed by the speed. If you see this here, I'm recording, so that makes it slower, but you click the button and bang, it's there. So you see HDA, Intel PCH, so that's my audio card as well. And it uses the Mesa DRI Intel blah blah blah, that is for the CPU on the display. So somewhere is my Intel chip here, can't see it yet. But so I'm not too happy. Don't buy an Optimus laptop. Do not buy one. It's really not worth it. I don't know. It's so much hassle, and more money just to save maybe half an hour on battery life. How crazy is that? So what I do use here is Ubuntu 16.04 based distros, and Ubuntu for sure. They have a graphic driver installer in their system, and that installs the NVIDIA Primus driver. So you have NVIDIA right away working out of the box. So when you play games like World of Tanks, you got it at the high frames. And for some reason Solus does the same. With Solus it's just, I don't know if it's just me, but I tried Budgie. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not familiar with it. I don't like it. It's not my thing. I don't like it. And yeah, they don't have XFCE, so I use GNOME, whatever. And that does the trick, and I will show something with that too, because with GNOME you have the problems here, like I still have Firefox here, but I will kick it out. When Mozilla starts spying, say no to every spying company. Everybody who spies on you, just kick their product out. They don't have the right to be with you or use anything. So I haven't fired up Firefox for quite some time. This thing here is called WaterFox. So I downloaded. No, I didn't download it here. I downloaded WaterFox from their website and just run it out of here. And I should show my whole setup, I think, because I use Nextcloud. And with that Nextcloud, so I've got my documents, pictures, music, even games. I have them in that Nextcloud. Like World of Tanks is now 25 GB with my replays. It's all in my Nextcloud. So if I would have to install something somewhere, I just link to my Nextcloud, and in no time on my home network I've got World of Tanks wherever I want it. works with application and everything what I have. Like if I go here apps, you see that is a symbolic link. That means it comes out of my Nextcloud folder, which is here, which is a link to, because I have to show one day my setup. I have one partition where I put all my data, but it's not my home partition, because if you have more distros than one's running and they share the same home folder, when you have different XFCE versions, for example, all of a sudden they start mixing up. So because we get mishaps with your graphics, obviously, on themes and stuff like that. So I just don't do it. All I do is just use symbolic links, but I get there one time. So here you see my stuff. I've got Etcher, which doesn't work here with Calculator. Once I have a solution, I will show this. Here's my Waterfox, and that's actually the Waterfox I start from here. So it's in my folder, in my Nextcloud folder. Then I've got my Steam TeamSpeak, and then I've got here Debian stuff flying around, or Ubuntu. So that's just what I do. And here's a picture. This is all Dropbox, is even everything is here my symbolic links. And on this computer I've got Solus, a Linux Lite. These two because they run my laptop on the NVIDIA graphic card. I've got Calculate, where I do lots of other stuff with. Sadly, I got stuck with Play on Linux here. I've got this tiny Windows i8 window. It's so tiny, it's not. It's as small as this little square here. So you can't install it anymore properly. So not with Play on Linux. You can install World of Tanks either way anyway. But I will see. I will get War Thunder on here, and War Thunder is actually great. With World of Tanks, just for your information, I get angry in this game, and I don't like to be angry. And if a game makes you angry, then it's most likely not worth it. When I play War Thunder, for some reason I'm relaxed. I'm not angry. I'm more relaxed, even if I lose. Yes, the team lets you down, though. Then I say thank you for nothing, peeps, but not really with anger. No hatred, no anger. And the World of Tanks brings the worst out of people. It's very aggressive, and I think that's because the game is rigged and nobody likes to be lied at, deceived, and all this stuff. So like World of Tanks, they give you stats which says, oh yeah, you have 2 seconds aim time and you have accuracy of 0.34, which is all a lie, because they are hidden stats which override these visible stats. So if somebody gives you an information which is not true, knowing that he changes other stats which have the main influence, that's a lie. This is deceiving. This is lying and deceiving, and it's fraud. Yeah, and you can get this just if you start counting. If they say 2 seconds and you count 4, then there's something off, right? So yeah, but I mean, they have these soft stats. You see it from other people when they do their videos. So, and all these things makes people aggressive, I think, and I don't want to be aggressive anymore. So this is it. However, this is a Linux video, and why do I use Calculate Linux, which is based on Gentoo? I used Funtoo for some time. I liked that a lot, but as I said in a different video, I changed from Alsa's sound system to Pulse Audio, and I had to change some use these keywords and all this stuff, and I just recompiled the whole thing, and after 28 hours it was already done. I mean, I just don't have the time to wait 28 hours, so I said, you know what, it's a nice system, but if you have to change something like this, no can do. It was on a dual core 2 GHz CPU on my old Packard Bell laptop from England. However, and I mean, this one has more power and things like that, but still it would take hours, and I don't want it. And Calculate, they have binary files, so you don't have to compile everything. You got the choice actually. So if you use Portal here, if you search for something, you get I think Calculate's repo is prioritized, so you usually get the binaries. And I think Chromium is not in, no? Is it? Yeah, client Chromium. So Here you have different versions which you could choose most of the time. Here's two. Now this is maybe nice to see. You see you have different versions. You can choose. So you don't have to go for the binary. You can actually go for the source code if you code if you want to. That's pretty nice. And don't be afraid it says no root, but you can actually go and say sudo emerge. I showed that in a different video, how to install this graphic package manager. Because I'm a graphical guy, I like to see things and play around. I know all people nowadays like this i3WM thing, where you have a huge terminal and open some windows. But in the end, you open Windows and you use graphical stuff most of the time, you know. So no, I want to have the comfort and luxury of all these things, and yeah, so I like to have this stuff. Oops. So yeah, for some reason in my life, not all distros work on all my computers the same. There are always differences, and yeah, so I was it was strange to see that there's always a hiccup somewhere, and Calculate is the distro here which doesn't do anything wrong, it just works. It's a rolling release, so usually you leave it on, you update it, and it just keeps working. And compared to Arch, as I said, I used Calculate before. Even though I had a good time with Arch, but there was very often something you had to fix. You had to change things like the logging window manager and stuff like this. So to SDDM from LightDM and stuff like that, just to keep it running again, because something broke down somewhere. No, I don't want it anymore. I'll give it a try. I got another Arch distro, and as I said, if you stick with XFCE, you shouldn't get much trouble with it. So usually I would think the desktop environment makes a big difference. Because at this time I used KDE with Arch. And as I said, it was great until they started, marching through, and then all the bugs kicked in and things stopped working, and I said, oh man, they did it so nice, and then they screwed all up again. Some people like it. As I said, I like KDE, I did. But I don't like if my system works today and stops working properly tomorrow. That's a no-go. No, I don't want it. And yeah, just another thing, do not use Firefox anymore. If they take the liberty to spy on you, they don't belong on your system. I mean, everybody who spies on you, it's outrageous. If you or I do things like that, we go to prison. Or we get a fine. There's something happening, because we are not allowed to do this. And I think they're not allowed to do that either. Yeah, nobody takes care of them, because maybe they call it freeware, but it's not free, isn't it, if they spy on you? It costs something. It costs you privacy. So it's a no-go. If you go for WaterFox, maybe I'll do another video how to get WaterFox on and all this stuff, which is easy on XFCE, but for example, if you have GNOME, you have to add a kind of a launcher, a starter. You have to create that and put that in a certain folder in order for it to show it on this, what's it called? Dock? It's not really a dock. What was that called? The panel to dock thing. I can't, my brain is frozen, it doesn't work. This is what it is in the moment. Yeah. So I'll show that in a different video, and I will show that with Solus. As I said, I like to have two distros working with my games. And just in case, if an update screws something up, you just dual boot or many boot. I can show what I have here. A very complicated password. I have to give that in. Ooh. Oh yeah. Unlike Ubuntu, you have a administrator password and a user password. Even though the user is sudo, there are some things you can't open with the user password, which is a very nice layer of security. So, not bad. So I like it a lot. So that is, oh shame on me, this is Windows 10. I got it on for, in case, like Armored Warfare. It just doesn't run on Linux. It doesn't, nobody has it running yet, and they're not porting it yet. So, but in general, if I would have to buy it, I would not buy it. I do not buy any software which has to run on Windows, under no circumstances. This is it. That is usually my MX16. I installed it here, and it's a root, just the root partition. But here is all the home folder things I use and links them to all the other. This is all symbolic links to, what is that here called? Oh, that is, what is that? That's the A6. Oh yeah, that is my Arch. See, I have to write in. This is Arch. Labels. That's my Arch install. And sadly with Arch I have again the same problem with Play on Linux to get World of Tanks installed. It's just this tiny IE8 window. And the same, I can't get the NVIDIA graphic card running. There is a workaround. Bumblebee never worked for me. It cooks my laptop. It runs it so hot, so it's a no-go. Can't be done. As you can see, I've got Arch here. Just install it and run the first update. Solus and Linux Lite, and they run my NVIDIA graphic card. Or I could even switch to the Intel if I would want to. Usually I wouldn't want to. What for? However. But the Intel graphic card is actually not that bad. You can play World of Tanks on it, just not on high graphics settings. But, yeah, that's what it is. So, here's my Linux Lite. This is my Calculate. Look how small it is. I use 11.54 gigabyte. Yeah, that's how small it is. But if you have a look, I have something what I call ISO. And these, hold on, I'm lying here. It's a symbolic link. No, it's not used. Oh. But I use some of the videos here, so they take space from my hard drive, because Calculate Linux doesn't take much space of the root partition. And here, like Nextcloud, Dropbox, apps, even the Play on Linux file is not on this root partition. The ISO file is not, downloads is not, music is not, and videos is not. So none of these are actually on that partition. They are all coming from this partition. Oops. And this partition, you see .home. It's mounted at my place. It's invisible .home. And that's where I got all my symbolic links from. So all distros share the document from here, pictures, videos, blah blah blah, all this stuff which is in my Nextcloud folder. And yeah. So I can have tiny root partitions because all there is the operating system and some little stuff I install, like Play on Linux, Gparted, I mean there's Thunderbird, all this stuff. Music. Yeah, I think I have to make a script one day and show how I do this, because it's very nice. You don't have to worry about it if you reinstall something, or like if you use Ubuntu, there's 17.04 and now you get 17.10 and it might screw something up with, if you use the same home partition, it might just kill your data whatsoever. So there's nothing like that happening if you just install it completely on root and have symlinks from a different partition. Then you're on a safe side. And on the other side, it's all running in my FreeNAS box and in my Nextcloud folder. So I'm not losing anything anyway, because I've got snapshots. So if a folder gets deleted and that should, let's say, bounce back to my Nextcloud, I just can recover it without any trouble and problems. And should maybe make a video about the FreeNAS box too, which is very nice. So I might have to make another video just about this different distros, different laptops. It's just every hardware is different and there's always something different. And not all distros work with all computers the same. At least not in my life, I haven't found it yet. And I mean, I tried Corora, which is a Fedora distro. Very nice, very well done, really good looking and stuff, and stable. But there are always little things which don't work. I don't know what for. But again, I seem to have these special kind of laptops which give you some special kind of hassle. Having said all this, Calculate is doing very well. Very, very well. and get rid of Firefox. If they spy, goodbye. This is it rhymes. Give me a dime. So yeah, it's not worth it. Don't have anybody spying on you. It's not legal. It's not okay. And even though if you have nothing to hide, it does not mean if you have nothing to say that you have to lose your free speech. So it's a no-go. So use WaterFox. I will make a video how to get WaterFox, and that is kind of Firefox but without all these spy functions. They're all switched off. There's no way it spies, and that's very nice to know. So yeah, and as I said, I mean, if you see this, my CPU is running a little bit. I use 1.2 gigabyte and I'm recording in the background on high definition, actually on 1080 points or 80p. And I love it. What I don't like is in a moment that I can't play my World of Tanks on it, but I will install here War Thunder, and I'm looking forward to play my War Thunder with it. And I play realistic battles, and I put them on a YouTube channel. It's called I Shoot You. There's not much happening because I don't know why, but I upload these videos, and I think some people like them, some people watch them, so it's okay to do that. I think I'm rumbling a lot here, and I think I rumbled enough for tonight. I think I have to really get back to that script and pull that through. Let me know in the comments what you think about these kind of videos. What would you like to see? I think I have to work with the script. I have to kind of introduce what's coming, what I'm doing in the video, what I'm going to do in the next video, and then follow this through. Maybe rumble a little bit less. So I'm going to do this. I will work on it. Maybe I'll do another video tomorrow with the WaterFox, but then with the script. Okay. Okay. See you soon, guys. Bye bye.